Hello, Pastor. Can you hear me?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this morning Oasis Ladies of Grace meeting for the year. And we just want to look into fitness. The Word of God says that bodily exercise profited a little. And we all know as we started the year, divine season of godliness, The word of God exhorts us to exercise ourselves unto godliness, to pursue godliness. And within that also, I believe we have to do justice to our bodies. And so we have to exercise our body, which the word of God says that profited little. And so we are taking everything that we can. And this morning we are blessed to have one of our very own son. But before I introduce him to lead us on, I want us to share a little word of prayer, and then we'll go straight to the point. So if you don't mind, wherever you are, whether you are watching, just want you to close your eyes as we commit our program into the hands of Almighty God. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning. We give you all the praise. We give you all the glory. We thank you for a beautiful day that you have given unto us. We declare that this is the day that you have made. We will rejoice and we will be glad in it. And Father, even as we are having this program, we pray that you give us all the wisdom, the knowledge that we need to acquire so that we can have healthy bodies that our spirits will be able to dwell in. We thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, so once again, I want to welcome everybody. Like I said, as children of God, we believe that we are spirit beings, but we live in a body. We are tripartite. So we need to take care of our bodies as well, because if our bodies are weak, there is that much we can't do much. So as children of God, we need to really, really, really take care of our bodies. We know all the diseases that are associated with we not being healthy. And so I believe that this is a great time for us to study and get to know how we can stay in shape, how we can be fit, how we can be strong. One sister told me one time that, Sister C, it's not just about losing weight, but it's just to firm it up, to be strong and to be able to do whatever things that we want to do. So today, without much ado, we have our bona fide, certified trainer who is going to see us through, going to give us a lot of information. This was our very own son in the church, and he's grown up to be a big man. And he's our dear Mr. David Darcy, and he will tell us all his qualifications. So you know that when he's speaking, he has a bachelor's in kinesiology and all that. So without much ado, I know I'm not the one you want to listen to today, right? So over to you, our dear Mr. David Darcy. Looks like you're muted. Okay.
All right.
Can I see some faces? Okay, go ahead.
All right. Okay. So thank you very much. And thank you for reaching out to me. And I know Isaac and I have talked about uh, bringing fitness into the, I guess, the African and church community. And that actually has been one of my goals that I've been working on for a while. And because growing up, we're all in the community where it's uh, too much muscle is bad, right? And women are not supposed to have too much muscle, and then, and but we never really know what that means, right? You can't quantify too much muscle. Everything is relative, and so I really appreciated coming on and giving out some information, and hopefully next year we'll all be a little bit more healthier than we are today. So where I got my exercise science degree was in Truman State University in Missouri. Um, Very extensive course. I got to learn a lot about biomechanics, basically about how you move, and then also about the human physiology, about what exercise, what different kinds of food, and different kinds of nutrients would do to the human body in performance and longevity, living longer, and then being able to hopefully increase your metabolism and strengthen your immune system and be able to fight diseases. But also, when I got into the field, I was able to get my strength and conditioning certification, which is one of the top certifications it's required by you in order to work in the industry. I have been working for about uh, going into 5 years now in the industry, and I have worked with athletes. I have worked with seniors, 85 years old, uh, so basically anywhere from 85 to like 9 years old. And I have worked with individuals with diseases, individuals with bad joints, um, who have over time experienced some uh, benefits from strength training and benefits of increasing their health. Okay. I know I can't see everybody right now, which I wish I could.
Oh,
But
please show your faces. He needs to see us. Yeah, we are real.
oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry, it was on me. I have to turn around and see. But all right. So really quickly, I just I have some notes prepared here, so I'll just kind of be looking sideways for a bit. Um, I wish this was in person so I can have face-to-face interactions because that's how I'm able to that's fun. That's how you're able to have discussions and things like that. But without really getting anybody's feedback, I'm gonna just ask for everybody to be honest with themselves if they were really being active before COVID, before COVID hit and everything. How many of us were being really active? Meaning, even if it's just walking consistently for a long period of time, that's being active, right? How many of us were doing that consistently, and how many were not doing it because they, for some reason, were busy, with work or kids or different agendas, I should say. Um, so, Pastor, you were being very active.
I was not consistent. I was active, but not consistent. So maybe once in a week or twice in a week, but not consistent. That was
Okay.
before COVID.
What about after COVID or during COVID? How active were you?
During COVID, I have a treadmill in my basement. And so once in a while, I have to speak the truth. Once in a while, I go on the treadmill and I use the walk button and I walk very fast, like 3.0. And then when I see that I'm in the zone, then I increase it a little bit to jog. And then I come back to walk. And then, so most of the time I do it like 15 minutes when I start the walking. And then when I'm in the zone, I'll jog for only like 3 minutes. And then I'll come back to the walk. So most of the time, I do between 25 to 30 minutes. But, you know, honestly, during the COVID, it has been like maybe once or twice every other week. Sometimes in a week, like I'm so busy and I forget. And there are some weeks that I'm able to, you know, work out a little bit. So I try to do something, but not on a consistent basis at all.
So, are you more consistent now, or were you consistent before COVID?
So right now I don't even know whether we are post-COVID or we are still in post-COVID. So I think my routine has been I try to do it twice a week, if I'm in the zone. But the least I do is at least I work out once a week on the treadmill in my basement. And I think right now what I'm planning, my husband is whether I like it or not, he's going to take me around. The weather is better. So we'll be going for walks together. He will be jogging, I'll be walking behind him. And I guess that's the plan now. So I'm hoping to hear more from you and then
Okay.
we'll have a better plan later. So the rest of you.
Yeah. So the rest of
Hey.
hello, Auntie Rhoda.
Hello. Yeah. I have video exercise. So I do sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, not on a regular basis the way I would wish. I do sometimes twice a week or 3 times a week for those number of minutes, just rigorous walking. And during the COVID, I would take walk around my camp, sometimes about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I wish to make it more regular, make it like every day of the week since it's just few minutes walk on the video. And I'm also planning a walkathon with someone, prayer walk. So as it's getting brighter, I will go for a walk. So I do it just for cardio right now, just to increase my energy. But I wish to lose some pounds too. So I'm in to for the help.
Anybody else?
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Hi.
It's Tracy. Look, I'm a warm weather person. During warm weather season, I was riding my bike. I was walking 4, I live about 4 miles from the lake. I would walk to the lake and come back. But this winter, no way. No way at all. I have not been exercising. And I'm ashamed to admit, though, I have a gym membership. But during COVID, I have really been leery about going to the gym. They've just been taking my money. And I live in an apartment and on the second floor. So I try to be quiet with my workouts, but I have not been regular. That's the truth. And it's just been really difficult. That's honest.
Okay, one more person, and then I will carry on with what I had. If anybody would like to chime in on their activity level.
Sister SBM, you are muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
What? So, do you want to know my routine, or I didn't get the question, please?
Okay, good. All right. So the question was, before COVID came about, were you working out in the house consistently? Were you working out? And during COVID, how much physical activity have you done?
Before COVID, I was working out probably like I would say 4 to 5 times a week. And usually I do classes. So if it's I'll probably do weightlifting for like an hour and maybe do cardio or something, or Zumba or something for another hour or 30 minutes, and I'm done. During COVID, I was just walking. So I will usually walk 4 miles a day, maybe 5 or 6 times a week, 6 days a week. And just because I like walking, I just want to be outside, clear my mind. That's when, personally, I think walking for me clears my mind, and after working out, I feel really good. Like I'm a different person altogether. And my children tell me all the time when I come home, they were like, when mommy comes back from working out, she's different, So I enjoy doing it. I don't do it just because I want to, lose weight or anything. No, I just like doing it to clear my mind.
Good job.
Great. So, very good. I actually, I'm kind of surprised with how much physical activity that you all are doing, even during COVID. And so, uh, that's pretty good. But so vaguely, I'm just going to go very basic, and then I will try to boil it down to what I like to um, put out there for anybody that I talk to. Vaguely, exercise is just kind of any physical activity that you just generally perform to burn some calories, or it generally would increase your heart rate. Uh, and when you look at it, most of you guys are talking about doing cardio, and so exercise is boiled down. It boils down into two forms. Either it be you lifting weight, which it would be anaerobic, or it would be just doing cardio, which will be the aerobic part of it. Um, Now, neither is right or wrong, but as we grow and as exercise science grow into more research, we find that a person who has more lean muscle mass generally just means that a person that has more muscle has stronger bones, right? And has less body fat mass is likely to avoid diseases, likely to be stronger, and then likely to just live longer than the person who doesn't. Um, the thing though, and I'm kind of relating this to women because you know, this is Oasis Ladies of Grace. The thing is, generally, women carry more um, body fat than men. So what happens is for women, it gets even harder to lose body fat percentages. Um, and then also because testosterone level with women is very low, adding muscle becomes a very hard thing to do over time. Um,
You are muted.
Sorry about that. Okay, we're good. Um, and so physical activity, as it boils down to in terms of your health, is geared towards more lifting weights um, or strength training than it will be for doing cardio. There is absolutely nothing wrong with doing cardio. Sometimes when I talk about this with people, um, or sometimes when people hear lift weights or strength training, they start thinking bodybuilding and they start thinking, okay, cardio is bad for you. Cardio is not bad for you. But here's the thing, when you have a gym membership, um, you, and you have machines, dumbbells and kettlebells and barbells and other machines around, and then you spend most of your time on the treadmill, it kind of does you no good because you can literally walk outside. Or even if you have a cardio machine at home, you can use that as opposed to spending hours and hours in the gym on a cardio machine, right? And so because you're paying for a lot, a month using the for the gym, you might as well use it towards something you're going to get a lot out of. Um, the benefits of doing cardio usually it will get your heart rate up, you will burn a lot of calories, and then for sometimes it will strengthen the particular muscles that are involved in the cardio. So if you're on the treadmill a lot, you will find that your legs tend to get stronger than they were before you started doing cardio. Um, but even that, you're not going to get as strong with your legs as you would if you're doing strength training. So things like leg extension, leg press, squats, those things will strengthen your muscles and provide uh, more bang for your back, for more buck for your bang than you would trying to do cardio for a long time. Like I said, cardio is something you can generally do at home. Usually, you don't need to have gym equipment in order to do cardio. And given that the weather is nice out now, uh, you will be able to go outside, walking outside. Somebody said something that rung a bell to me is generally in the Midwest area, what happens in the winter is we tend to get less active, because of the winter. And with the seasonal depression around, we don't really realize it, but most people are um, going to feel, when the weather is great, there's no sun out. Usually people feel down, they don't feel excited to do anything. So when the weather comes out, when we see the sun is out, it feels good to go outside to do things. Um, but then it kind of takes away from people going into the gym because they feel like, okay, if I'm walking, then I don't need to go into the gym to do anything. But the benefits of strength training, makes it where it's very important for you to go into the gym. For example, when you strength train, the obvious thing we know is you're going to increase your strength. Okay, but then you also increase your metabolism, your immune system, your immunity goes up. You are able to do daily activities that you're not able to do on a usual basis. You're able to do them now and even be more efficient at doing those daily activities. And so um, we're not there yet, but then you get to a point where you're about 85 years old also, and you live by yourself and you're trying to carry groceries bags into the house. If you don't have that strength, right, and if your bones are brittle, that task is going to be extremely difficult. But strength training now to build your bones, to get the bones stronger, in the future, you're not going to have to need to call somebody to come help you carry the grocery bags into the house for you. And so that's one of the benefits of strength training. It improves energy. Somebody said that when they're done working out, I think it was SBM. I can't remember her name, but
Darling, Mrs.
okay.
Manson.
Oh, all right. So you're talking about, okay, when I get home, my kids are saying that I'm in a different mood because I exercise. That's dopamine, right? Dopamine is a feel good hormone, and what happens is when you exercise, because you can't, especially when you walk. I tend to find that usually when people are walking outside, getting in the fresh air, it kind of it en- enlightens their mood because they get more dopamine outside fresh air. It's one thing to stay in the gym and do cardio, and another thing to be outside, walking around and seeing different things and interacting with the community and the environment. And so, um, getting in some workout, it being able to brighten your mood is all about the dopamine that you're able to get from that exercise. Okay. And so, yes, strength training would give you the benefits of doing cardio and even more. Like I said, it would improve your energy levels, it would increase your metabolism. People with sugar levels being too high, hypertension, diabetes, and things like that. Strength training has been shown to bring down your A1C1, all because you're able to increase your muscle mass. And by also eating a little better, you'll be able to bring down your body fat mass. And so when you really talk about working out, and weight loss, they're not mutually exclusive. And so one doesn't have anything to do with the other. You can work out all you want to and not lose weight, you know, but that's when the diet and everything comes into play. Okay. And so, a joke that I usually make with some clients is they want to lose weight, and I tell them, hey, the quickest way to lose weight is to cut one of your arms, and then you will lose about 10 pounds, you
Hey,
know. Because if you cut your arm off, now you have one limb off and you don't have to worry about it. And so your weight will go down. But weight, weight loss has nothing to do with your health. And in terms of improving your health, all that you have to worry about is two numbers: your fat mass and your muscle mass. What you want to do is do things to increase your muscle mass or your lean muscle mass, and then you want to do things to decrease your body fat mass. As long as one of these numbers are improving, meaning if your lean muscle mass is going up and your body fat mass is going down, then you're gearing towards doing the right thing. And so, uh, for example, I'll give you just a quick story. I had a client for a while, and she, for about 6 months, she was able to lose 35 pounds, but then got into some, family issues and whatnot, and she gained about 20 pounds back. Uh, at that time, her A1C1 level. I'm not sure if everybody is familiar with the A1C1 level, but it has something to do with your sugar levels and diabetes. It's all related to it. But her A1C1 level was high. Okay, and so what I kept telling her was, you know what, just keep coming. Let's just keep strength training. Let's just keep lifting his weights. And she trusted me. She kept coming, and then over time, even though she had gained most of the weight back, her A1C1 levels was it dropped a lot lower than it was before. That was because she kept strength training. You know, it wasn't any. It didn't have anything to do with her weight. And so most of the time we think that health, like when we see the healthy person, we tend to think that this person is small or skinny, but usually the skinny and smaller people are not that healthy because you have to break down their body weight into components of muscle mass, fat mass, and then the amount of water they have in them. And usually, if your fat mass is a lot more than your muscle mass, your health is not in a good condition. Um, if anybody would like to ask any questions or anything like that, I'm free to. I mean, I'm able to answer it at any point. And so I talk a lot when I start talking about this. And so stop
Okay,
me if you have
I
any
see
questions about
Auntie
but
Jenny has her hand raised. So should we do like after the lecture questions, or you want questions in between as you go along? Which one do you prefer?
questions in between is better.
Questions in between is better. Okay,
Right.
Evangelist.
Don't
So if you
anybody.
want to ask a question, just raise your hand and then I'll call you so that we don't speak over each other. So Evangelist, you can ask your question now.
Yeah, thank you so much for this program today. I just turned 60 years old, and I realized that
Go wear pants.
I just realized that my knees tend to be a little more tender than they were in my 50s. And I was just talking to my husband about us doing some exercise, and I've been listening to you about the weight training being so important. But we were talking about getting a, excuse me, getting a trampoline so that we could jump up in it because of our knees. I do not know what your recommendation would be. We were going to put it in the back garden and wait when it's getting a bit dark, when people can't see that it's adults in it. We can jump around in it. I don't know whether I think that's a good idea or what your take is.
Okay, so you said you're dealing with bad knees. Is that did I
Yeah,
get that
I mean,
right?
they are not really, I can run and do things, but I just feel that sometimes when I'm going up the stairs, if I walk too many stairs, I feel like there's a tweak in them, but I'm still able to do, the usual things.
Okay. So your bad knees has nothing to do with um like jumping isn't going to help a lot with your bad knees. As a matter of fact, by compressing the joints, right? So the knee joint, the tibia and the fibula and the patella tendon, by compressing the joint, with the jumping, it could potentially um, make your situation worse. Okay,
Oh,
because you have a joint that is going through some kind of injury, and usually the wise the thing that people would usually do is to stay off of it. But in your case, you're thinking that jumping, where you're going to be compressing these two joints, would help, but it actually could make it worse. My recommendation would be, first of all, I think you should go see a specialist, maybe an orthopedic doctor, and so you can go to your physician and get a referral to go see an ortho, and then when you get to the ortho, try to find out what's wrong with the knee. Um, there could
So,
be a lot of different things.
sorry to cut you. I've done all that. I've had x-rays. There's no real abnormality in my knees at all. And I
Okay,
was just thinking that the impact on the trampoline would be gentler than if I went to do cardio on a hard floor.
I got you. So the thing is, there are different kinds of cardio. There are different equipments you can use for cardio. The elliptical, treadmill, the bike. I have clients who have bad knees who, when they get on the elliptical, it's worse. But when they get on the treadmill, it feels better, right? And then some clients, when they get on the bike, it hurts. But other clients, when they get on the bike, the knees doesn't hurt. Okay. So I would suggest that you go to the gym and then find which cardio machine that would not aggravate your pain. All right. Now, usually, so muscle imbalances could cause pain in your joints. For example, if your hamstrings, which hamstrings are the muscles behind your thigh, so you have your quads. I can't show, see, I can show right now. Sorry, I can't show it, but um, your hamstring, if your hamstring is weaker, than your quad, that could cause a knee issue. So what I would suggest is whenever you go back to the gym, try to find a hamstring machine, and don't be afraid. This is for everybody. Don't be afraid to ask the anybody in the gym for an assistance. That's what they're there for. And so they might look like they're frustrated because you're asking them for an assistance, but you're paying for them. And so uh, find somebody and ask them how to use the machine. Because part of what I wanted to talk about today too is you have a gym membership, but if you're not familiar with how to use the machines in the gym, it's kind of worthless, right? And so find somebody not that would be able to show you how to use the hamstring curl machine, and then do the hamstring, but also keep walking. One one exercise that you could also do to help with your knee is sit squats. And I'm gonna move this back so maybe you can see what sit squats looks like. So um, basically, you sit down and then you stand up, right? You just sit and you stand up, but try to find also a uh, a position where when you sit, you're not putting too much pressure on your knee. And so if you find that when you sit too low and you get up, you have a knee pain, increase the platform of which you're sitting on. And so if your quad is parallel to the floor, just increase it so you're not sitting too low. But um, who was that? Was it? I can't remember her name that I was talking to that asked the question.
Sister Jenny,
Okay,
Auntie Jenny.
Sister Jen, so uh, be don't be afraid to use any of the cardio machines. Try to go find which cardio machine that you can use without putting too much pressure on the knee. If you would be interested in aqua aerobics would be good too. Just swimming in the water or something like that. That takes every stress away from the joint. Um, I don't know why Pastor is laughing, but if getting in the water is out of the question, just try to find a
Auntie Jenny, you like swimming?
Yeah, I can actually swim, so thank
Yeah.
God.
okay,
So
great,
that would be the best.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
I
like to
can
swim,
swim quite well.
if you can swim, I would suggest that maybe you do most of your cardio in the water. That
Okay,
would help a lot. But also don't shy away from strengthening the muscles around the knee, right? So the muscles around the knee are your hamstrings, your quads, and even calf raises, right? And so those are three exercises that I would suggest that you, or three muscles that I would suggest that you try to strengthen. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask the people in the gym to help you out.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Sister
before I,
Martha. Sister Martha,
So,
I have a question.
okay, so yeah, I do have a question, and it's about losing weight. So I'm at my heaviest at the moment. I've been gaining weight for the past, and I won't blame it on COVID. It was before COVID, maybe the year or year and a half before COVID. Um, um, I weigh more than I do when I was pregnant, when I just had a baby. So initially, I used to gain weight and then lose it very quickly. I'll gain a lot of weight and just lose it. I'm not that old. I'm in my early 30s, which according to me is extremely young. So I don't know why. I mean, I know why. I eat more than I used to. So I have a rice addiction right now. I'm wondering what kind of exercises will help me lose weight, will help me bring my BMI down, and what will the goal be? Do I have to adjust my weight expectations just because in my 30s, early 30s, very early 30s, I must say. So what kind of exercises would you recommend? Do you think I should buy? I've been thinking about buying some gym equipment. I mean, an apartment, second floor too. So I'm limited as to what I can buy just because of my neighbors. What would do you think? Should I hire a personal trainer? Should I go on a diet? What should I do? Help me.
Okay. Uh, Here's the thing with weight loss, and I'm probably going to disappoint you right now. Uh, Weight loss has nothing to do with exercising. Let's take me for example. When I was in high school, senior year high school, when I graduated, I weighed about 135 pounds. And during that time, I was on the track team, played a little bit of football. I did a bunch of different activities, played some soccer. I was very active, but I only weighed about 135 pounds. Senior year high school. Okay. When I graduated from college, I weighed 175 pounds. In that time span, my activity level actually increased because, I was in school. We had a rec center. I was working out literally every day. I didn't leave the gym. So sometimes I would even lift weights and then play basketball. So I was really, really active. Um, the only thing that changed though is when I was in college, I ate a lot. Okay. And so my activity level increased, but I also wanted to gain weight. So I ate a lot. So I gained weight. It didn't matter what activity that I was doing. It didn't matter what exercises that I was doing. I'm heavier than I've ever been. And that's not because I did some kind of exercise or didn't do some kind of exercise. So weight loss has nothing to do with exercising. You can literally starve yourself. Okay. You can go where you don't eat anything for a week straight and you will lose weight. Can you starve yourself for a week?
No.
I don't think you should starve yourself for a week. And so, because when you lose weight, let's go back for a little bit. Weight loss or your weight is three things, right? It's muscle mass, fat mass, and then water. Okay. That's those are the three things that make up for your weight. Okay. So when you're talking about losing weight, you're talking about losing water, losing muscle, and then losing fat. We shouldn't ever want to lose weight. We shouldn't ever want to lose weight because we don't want to lose muscle. We want to at least maintain the amount of muscle we have and then lose fat. Okay. You are going to lose some muscle as you're trying to lose weight. That's going to happen. But that's why you have to do strength training. You have to put stresses on the muscle to grow the muscle or to, at the very least, maintain the amount of muscle you have um, while you're losing fat. Okay. If you've heard a bunch of trainers or anybody say it, they would say, if you're trying to lose weight, eat more protein. Because what protein does is it would help you recover from your strength training and it will help you maintain the amount of muscle you have, or even sometimes even increase the amount of muscle you have. And so I don't know if I'm losing you yet, but weight loss has nothing to do with exercises. Here's what you should do for weight loss. I don't think you should even get on the diet because it has been shown that when people get on a strict diet, a diet where you're restricting everything. So keto diet, paleo diet, name any kind of diet. What is it? The one that's popping right now, it's called intermittent fasting, right? When people get on these things, they fail, right? Because it's not around your lifestyle. What I would suggest that you do is find something that you're comfortable with, find something that fits your lifestyle. And so if you're not a breakfast person, if you don't eat breakfast because you're usually busy in the morning, don't eat breakfast. It's not a hard rule that you have to eat breakfast every morning. Is it great to eat breakfast? Yes. But if you're not that kind of person, don't put yourself in a situation where you end up failing. Okay. You don't have to eat 6 times a day, right? All you really have to worry about is eat less calories. Okay. Um, we humans, we're just moving energy. If we do more activity, then we're taking more calories, we lose weight. And if you take in more calories than you do any activity, um, you gain weight. That's the law of thermodynamics. That would never change. That's just energy balance. Okay. And so if when I wanted to gain weight, I ate a lot of calories and I ended up gaining weight. Flip it other way. If you want to lose weight, eat less food. Don't even worry about it exercising, right? Just eat less food and you will lose weight. And don't get too much into the nuances of it, right? So, um, eating 6 times a day, don't eat after 6 o'clock, none of that. Just worry about calories. Think about calories all the time. This pop I'm about to drink, how many calories does it have in it? Is it worth it? And so there's an app, and if you can write this down, it's called My Fitness Pal, My Fitness PAL. You can find it on the App Store, or if you have Android, you can find it on the is it Google something, wherever you can find it, or wherever you download your apps from. Download that app and just follow. It will ask you to put some information in there, and after you do that, I don't know how many calories it would ask you to eat, but whatever calories it asks you to eat, that's the number of calories that you can't go over. And so if it asks you to eat 1,500 calories a day, make sure that you stay under 1,500 calories. And for the most part, don't worry about um, not eating fried chicken, or don't worry about not eating rice. Think about, okay, this scoop of rice that I'm about to eat, how many calories does it have in it, right? This pop that I'm about to drink, how many calories does it have in it? And then you have to be honest with yourself. Do I want to drink this, 250 calorie pop? Is it worth it? And so those are some of the questions you can ask yourself, and those are some of the things you can do to try to lose weight. Worry about the calories more than you worry about trying to get on a specific diet, and then worry a lot too about strength training to preserve the muscle you have, so you actually lose fat and not losing weight where you end up losing muscle.
So,
I hope that
some
answered the question.
examples of, what are some of the examples of strength training? And also, I know you said I should count calories. How do I count calories when I'm eating palm soup and fufu? Like, how do you count calories with foods like that? It's easier with certain foods. You can Google it. So how do you measure that?
So that's a great question, because that's an issue that people in our community they go through a lot, because it's hard to count the calories in palm nut soup or whatever you said, right? So um, what I would suggest is you probably have to give up some things. What I tell my clients is this: if you're trying to lose weight and you're worried about calories, if you can figure out the calorie content in some food, then you don't eat it, right? Try to find a different option. Okay. What you can also do if you're not counting calories is you can portion control the amount of food you're eating. And so counting calories is not the golden ticket to losing weight. As long as you portion control the amount of food you eat, it would also factor into the amount of calories you're eating. For example, so um, if you eat a whole thing of pizza, right? I can't even imagine how many calories there are in it. But if you take a slice of it and you eat just the slice instead of eating the whole thing, you have reduced the amount of calories. And so, um, for things that you can't track calories, I would suggest you um, just try to limit the amount you eat those foods. All right. So the exercise, what exercises will be good to do to preserve muscle? Usually when you do multi-joint exercises, so exercises like squats, dumbbell bench press, lat pull down, exercises that you're engaging more than one different joint, that will give you a bigger bang for your buck because then you're not wasting time doing like bicep curl, which bicep curl is not a bad exercise. It's just you're not going to get a lot out of it than you would trying to do a squat. Um, what I would suggest is try to hire a personal trainer, right? Even if it's just for a little bit, so you can learn how to do some of these exercises. I don't know if you have an access to a gym or if you will be able to have an access to a gym, but I think that would help you a lot with uh, with the exercise part of it. Um, because some exercises, I'm just saying squats, but doing it better and with better form and doing a different or variation that would best fit you would help you more than you just going to the gym and trying to wing it. And so um, with the diet or with losing weight, just control your diet, just worry about calories and worry about portion control. And then try to do um, multi-joint exercises, exercises that you will get a lot out of, so you can preserve your muscle mass and so it would also help you lose some body fat mass. Did that help?
Yeah.
You
Okay.
answered it all.
Okay,
I think.
Martha, I think let's give room for others to ask questions. So we have a question from a Facebook Live comment, and we'll take that question, and after that you can continue, and then afterwards more questions will come. So the
Okay.
question is, what exercises are beneficial for people with osteoporosis and osteoarthritis, considering their bones are fragile, as well as the pain they have to endure on a daily basis? So those with osteoporosis and osteoarthritis, what exercises will be beneficial for them?
Okay. I hope, what I will end up saying is this person should get with a professional, um, because I know that when I've had clients with issues like that, they come up to me, we have a discussion. And just about every session, they feel different. And so some session, their knees are shot. And so then I'm like, okay, since your knees are not feeling too well, we're going to do something different today where we're still going to get the effect that I want from the session, where you're putting stress on the muscle and the joints without it hurting. And so that's first and foremost, that's what I would suggest. If you have osteoporosis and osteoarthritis and things like that, that get with a professional who would best help you. Um, the other part is because you're dealing with pain all the time, usually doing machines like machines where gravity is taken, there's a lot of gravity taken out of it, where it's not high impact on the joints, that would be helpful. Um, People like that tend to do single joint exercises instead of doing so. For example, this person might not be able to do squats, but they could be able to do leg extension because squats provide compression force, and leg extension is going to provide a shear force. Sometimes shear force might be the trigger for the pain. Other times compression might be the trigger for the pain. You just have to find out which one triggers your pain and stay away from it, because so dealing with pain and fighting through the pain, especially when you hear people say no pain, no gain. No pain, no gain doesn't relate to if your joint is, you know, crying for help. If your joint is beaten up, getting beat up, then you still put force on it, right? And so if you have a joint that's hurting really bad, you shouldn't apply no pain, no gain to it. Try to find out what the trigger of that pain is and stay away from it. But I always say you can always work around your injury, right? And so if you have shoulder issue, right? Where every time when you do a chest press, your shoulder is hurting. You could try to do some more back exercises to strengthen the shoulder joint. That those usually back exercises will help the shoulder joints. If you have knee issue, when you do things like leg extension or even squat, you can try to do exercises to target your hamstrings. And the good thing is that bone, all what the bone needs is to get stronger. Okay. And so as long as you're providing some kind of stress to the joint, to the bone and to the joint, it would eventually help. Um, you could also look into supplementing on things uh, like turmeric, right? Turmeric would help with inflammation. You can supplement on things like calcium to strengthen the bones. You can supplement on things like vitamin D. That would also help with strengthening your bone. And so, if you have been diagnosed with osteoarthritis and osteoporosis, it's not a death sentence, but you're not going to do things to reverse it. Those usually like you have it. It's not going to get much better. You're not going to do a lot to reverse osteoporosis. It's just your bones have lost its strength. What you really have to do is put stresses on it, and you know, doing cardio wouldn't help in that instance. Doing things more with strength training with the machines and things like that would help with osteoporosis and osteoarthritis. But again, it would be best to get with somebody uh, who is a professional in that sense, who can actually help you put in a better position where you're not constantly, hurting. It's like if you have a wound and you keep picking at it, it gets worse, right? And so if doing leg extension triggers your pain, stay away from leg extension and do something that does not trigger your pain.
Okay, I guess that's excellent. So you can continue, and then along the line, if anybody has any question, we'll address.
Okay, good. So we have talked a lot. I think I was saying a lot about the benefits of doing strength training. And one quick note that I wanted to bring about is most women would say, I don't want to do strength training because I don't want to look like you. And I mean, that's unfortunate. You can't look like me, right? Because one, several things that affect muscle gain is age. So your age, how old you are, the older you get, even for males, the older you get, the harder it is to build muscle or to increase your muscle size. Uh, your gender affected. Women are not Women generally naturally don't have as much testosterone as men do, and so with testosterone being the big factor in being able to perform in the gym and being able to recover, not having as much testosterone is going to limit the amount of muscle that you would be able to get. And so, age, your gender, your lifting history, and your frequency. And so, then they would say, well, have you seen some of the women on stage? Some women that look like men. What most of those women, that's their profession, right? And so they're getting sponsored to train or work out maybe twice a day for 6 days straight. And so for them, it's they get access to work out a lot, and the frequency matters a lot. The more you do a certain thing, especially when it comes to working out, the more muscle you will get, you'll build. So um, women don't have to worry too much about looking like a man when they're strength trained. And as a matter of fact, having a lot of muscle is not a bad thing. It's hard to tell somebody that, because it's like, well, I don't want to look like that. But again, everything is relative. And so the amount of muscle that my parents have is not the amount of muscle that I have. The amount of muscle that my younger brother has is not the amount of muscle that I have. And it's always going to be relative. And so don't be scared to do things that build muscle, especially strength training. It's your golden ticket to your health. Um, I wanted to also touch a little bit on COVID and training. I think Auntie, I can't remember her name. One
Jenny.
person, yes, one person brought up something about being leery of going into the gym now with COVID. Um, and this is really a very touchy subject, as we all know, but we it's it hasn't been found, right? And that's just all I can say is it hasn't been found that COVID is being spread through the gym, right? And I think one of the things that I know that my gym does, for everybody, is you wear a mask when you enter. And working out with a mask to begin with could be hectic. It could be hard, but you get used to it. What I do with my clients is, even though I have an exercise routine of what we're going to do for the day, if I see that, okay, we're doing bicep curl, if that area where I want to do the bicep curl is packed with a lot of people, we'll go do something else just to stay away from the crowd. Uh, and then we wipe the machines before and after when we use it. Um, if my client feels like she needs a little bit of breather, I just will point out to a corner or to my office. She would just go in there, pull down the mat for a little bit, come back, and then we continue. And so during COVID, I think it was put out that exercising could actually help fight COVID symptoms. Um, One caveat to that is that's not very immediate. And so you're not going to just start exercising today and then you just, increase your metabolism by that much, right? It's a build up. It's exercising and training. It's all very progressive and consistency matters. And so, um, but if COVID taught us anything, what it taught us is being physically active and increasing muscle mass would help with your health a lot more than not being physically active. And so I hope that one thing we got from COVID, the silver lining was, take care of your health and your health to take care of you, that kind of thing.
There's a question related to what you're saying. Someone is asking that despite everything, they don't want to go to the gym. So, what strengthening machines, exercise machines, will you recommend for them to buy to use in their home gym to
Okay.
strengthen their muscle?
Okay. So another good question. I had something on that in my notes. Um, so even with masks and cleaning and whatever, if you don't feel comfortable going to the gym, don't go to the gym. Uh, you necessarily don't need a gym to increase muscle mass. Even though the amount of exercises and the amount of muscle you can gain without going to gym is limited, you can actually do something that would be beneficial to your health. And it goes into the saying that not something is better than nothing. Some exercises that you can do without needing any weight would be like sit squats, like what I was talking about. So you sit on the chair and you get up. Just do that about 3 sets and do about 15 repetitions of it. And then you keep consistency of doing it. I know during COVID, what my parents did is we had some dumbbells at the house, and they would just carry it and just be walking up and down the house. They didn't exactly knew the impact of what they were doing, but I was glad to see it because that's farmer carries. That does a lot for your health than they realize. And so just if you have any object, right, where you can hold, so you grab one here, just walk back and forth with it. That provides some resistance in the walking, and that also would help you strengthen things like your core, right? So the sit squats, just walking every day, and then the sun is out, whether it's a little bit warm, you can do a little bit more walking. At least 30 minutes a day would help a lot. You can do things like wall push-ups, and I would demonstrate wall push-ups for everybody to see. Wall push-ups is very easy. Most people can see it. So on the wall, right? You grab here, and then you just go down, and then back up. Okay, down, and then back up. Basically, what you do is you stay away. You give yourself a little bit distance from the wall so you can actually feel the resistance of it. But so sit squats, wall push-ups. If you have anything to hold, you can just use it as a bicep curl. So you're sitting down and you have some band or any object, even a knife, if it's heavy enough, you can use that for bicep curl. You get some muscle activation there. But some exercises that you can buy, some machines that you can buy, or exercise equipment you can buy to help strengthen your muscles while you're home. Uh, you can try to invest in some resistance bands. If you have some resistance bands, you can Google or YouTube resistance band exercises and try to follow it the best you can, and that should help. Um, a set of dumbbells wouldn't hurt, and so you can go to Walmart, buy some dumbbells, buy some kettlebells, that would help too. And then again, you can Google or YouTube some dumbbell home exercises. Um, and if you're able to, you can also invest in like a bike, stationary bike, treadmill, elliptical. Those things will help. Um, and that's pretty much it without you just breaking the bank. Um, some band exercises will help a lot. Any questions relating to COVID and training or COVID and exercising?
Oh, okay, that was a comment. Somebody commented that bottles and gallons of water can be used. So maybe
So
that is
right. You see some people would actually, um, put a gallon of water in the deep freezer to freeze it, to add more weight, and they would lift it and do whatever they wanted to do. Um, so yes, a gallon of water, bottles of water, a bag of those bottled waters. You could use that for exercising too. Um, just objects, a book bag, right? So you can load some household items in a book bag, and you can use that for an exercise. And so just for if you're doing the sit squats, the exercise where you sit down and stand up, you can put some items in the book bag, put it behind your back. Now you have more resistance, and you can do some sit squats with that.
okay. Thank you.
No
Looks
problem.
like our time is, we have about 20 minutes more. And so
Okay.
if anybody has a question, please let me know. And then we'll take it from there. Otherwise, you just continue.
Okay. So questions about just about anything, strength training, weight loss, cardio, COVID, and training. Um, if you're injured, what things you can do with the injury and working out. Any questions like that, or just about anything in fitness in general. If I can answer it,
Okay.
we'll try.
I have a question. Okay, so
Okay.
those of us who have, baby fats in our abdomen area, right? The baby fats, what would you recommend? I know you have said a lot and all of those are going on, but something specifically geared towards the baby fats in the abdomen area.
So to lose the fat in your abdomen area.
Yes, your stomach area. And I know that some men are watching and they are asking also the men who have one pack. They want to know what they can do to get rid of the one pack.
um, okay, this is also another disappointing answer, but you can't spot reduce, or what spot reduction means, and I get this a lot too, is when I get in a consultation, it's usually with the women is I want to lose this thing here, and then I want to lose this here, and I want to tighten up this here. Um, you can't spot reduce. When you lose fat from everywhere, right? So you can't say I have a lot of fat in my stomach, and so I'm gonna go do some sit-ups or crunches, and that I will lose the fat from that area. That's impossible. You can do the sit-ups and crunches all you want to. What you're doing actually is you're building muscle, but building muscle doesn't mean you get rid of the fat. Um, I'm gonna try to make an analogy that I usually use, and hopefully I don't lose you guys. But so think about it. If you weigh a lot, okay, and you come to the gym every day, and then you're doing bicep curl. By doing bicep curl, you're not necessarily losing fat from that area. What you're doing is you're building the muscle, right? But as long as your weight is the same, you haven't changed anything. So if I weigh 250 pounds and my body fat percentage is 25%, okay, and I go to the gym every day because I have a little bit of fat in my abdomen, and so every time I go, I do sit-ups. I do 100 sit-ups a day, okay. If my weight is still 200 and my body fat percentage is still 25, there's no way that I will lose the fat from there. What has to happen is my weight would have to go down some number, right? It doesn't have to go down by 20. It doesn't have to go down by 15. It has to go down. And then whenever I do my body fat percentages, I have to see that my body fat percentage has decreased. And so um, my body fat percentage would have to decrease from 25% in order for me to see that the size of my stomach has decreased. Take, for example, a balloon, right? If you blow air into a balloon and you increase the size of the balloon, you're necessarily, I mean, what's making the balloon increase in size is the air in it, okay? The only way to reduce the size of that balloon is to take air out of it. And so related to your body, the only way to reduce your size, right? Your body size. The only way to reduce your size is to limit or to remove calories from it. As long as you're packed with a lot of calories, which could be turned into weight, as long as your weight is the same, there's no way that your shape or your size will shrink. Your size would only shrink if you have reduced in weight and you have reduced in calories. And so there's not any exercise you can do to lose one body part. And as a matter of fact, that's really impossible. If you want to lose that, you know, gut or that big belly or arms or whatever, what you have to do is a combination of several things like eating better for a long time and then exercising for a long time. And then you have to make sure that your physical activity is high every day. What that means is little things like, you know, uh, park a little bit or further away from your office. And so you have to walk a little bit more. If you have a fitness tracker, you can try to get more steps in. Uh, and so usually people say 10,000 steps a day. That's a great, that's a great number to be at. Usually what people find is they're not even getting anywhere near to 10,000 steps a day. And so your physical activity level is low. Um, you're eating a lot, a lot more calories, more than you need, and then you're not training. Those things are not going to help with reducing the size or the shape of your body or of any body part. Uh, and so that's a long answer, but usually I like to go into why things happen. And I feel like if you explain more, people understand it better. And I
Okay,
hope that
thank
answered the
you.
question. Yeah.
Yes, it did. Sister Nicole?
It's me, it's Mary.
Okay.
I have a question. I work from home and I do very long hours behind the computer. I do like between 10 to 12 hours just behind the computer. You wake up in the morning, that's the first thing you do. So I just recently got a stand-up desk that I've been using. So I try to do maybe 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours just standing. But I read online that it's not very effective. So I just wanted to know your take on it as a trainer. How effective is it for those of us who are stuck behind a computer all day, every day? What can we do to help this fitness journey?
So generally, sitting down for a long period of time is not healthy. And so, um, if we have to compare you sitting down for 5 hours versus you standing for 5 hours, I would suggest that standing for 5 hours is more healthy than sitting down for 5 hours. Although research has shown that when people, especially people with the standing desk, because they stand for a long period of time, that when they sit, because they're tired, they like to sit for a long period of time too. And so what you find is that net gain that you were trying to find, with losing and burning more calories while you're standing, you find that eventually it becomes, you know, very even, right? Because you sat for a long time. I mean, you were standing for a long time, but because you were so tired, you ended up sitting for a long time too, and so they becomes a net gain. Um, but I don't think that standing as opposed to sitting for a while is bad for you. When you sit for a while, what actually do happen is a lot muscles get weaker. Your glute muscles, your butt muscles, those muscles are really, really, really vital, and just even in daily activities. The weaker your glute is, the weaker your back would be. You start having hamstring issues, back issues. Your core gets weaker, and so in that with all that being said, standing would help you a lot better than sitting, if you're going to be doing it for a long time behind the computer. You just have to make sure that you're not also sitting for a long time as a result of being tired from standing. And then again, when it comes to weight loss, it wouldn't matter if your diet is not as good, right? And if you're eating more calories, and then if you're eating the bad food. And so, um, I hope I answered that question. Talked a lot, but did that help you out?
It did, but I'm also curious what else I can do to help.
Okay. What I suggest is, drinking a lot of water. There's a trick to it. What happens when you drink a lot of water is you tend to use when you drink a lot of water is you tend to use the bathroom a lot, and so um, that would get you to be walking, right? What I also have suggested for people to do is time yourself. Just put a timer on and just time yourself for 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes, you get up and just do a little bit of a walk and you come back and sit down. Uh, so just not sitting down for a prolonged time would help. All you just have to do is just uh, find ways to make sure that you're getting up and walking frequently. That will help.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so our time is almost up. And so what we'll ask Brother David is that can you give us any last word, like summary of everything what we have to do? I know you mentioned we getting okay. Now I remember a question. You're talking about your body fat and then the lean muscle, right? So how are we, like Sister Martha answered, how are we going to know that oh,
Okay.
this is the amount of body fat I have and this, and then I start working on it?
Uh, I know in my gym we have a machine. It's called in-body machine. And what we do is whenever we get a new client, we put them on there, and then it would assess how much lean mass they have, how much muscle mass they have, how much fat mass they have. Some machines would actually even tell you how much if your bones are weak, and what areas are weaker than the other. Um, what I would suggest if you don't have access to something like that is maybe go get a physical, right? So go to your doctor, get a complete physical. Where what I have found though is sometimes the hospitals um, they do a lot with the BMI than they do with body fat. And BMI is not a good measure of health because BMI just takes your weight and your height, right? It doesn't account for how much muscle mass you have or how much uh, fat mass you have. And so, if you don't have access to the InBody machine, which I think is about $15,000, I think getting a complete physical from your doctor would help. You can also find some of these machines on Amazon. They have this scale where if you stand on it, it will give you a complete overview of your lean body mass, fat mass, body fat percentage, all that stuff. It's not as accurate as the InBody, but at least you have some idea of it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a summary of what we must do. I know you said a lot, but for all the women on, okay, before we end, any other question? Okay, so just a summary of what we must do, a take-home advice for all of us.
Okay. So what I kind of try to leave for everybody when I come in contact with them is think about your health and not about what you look like. I think usually when people think about their health, they're more conscious of the combination of their weight, right? So uh, your fat, muscle, and water. When people think about, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Um, when people think about their what they look like, they tend to worry a lot about um, the scale, right? What the scale says all the time. And that usually is not a good measure of your health. And so, as far as health is concerned, try to find out what your lean body mass is. You can do the DEXA, yes, and it can tell you how strong your bones are or how weak your bones are and what areas you need to focus on. And so think about your health. Don't worry too much about the scale. And then try to be physically active every day. Being physically active every day doesn't mean that you go to the gym and get on the treadmill for 5 hours. All it means is just, instead of yelling for somebody to go grab you a can of soda from the fridge, maybe you can get up and walk. That adds steps, right? Spring cleaning, get active, get out there, whether it's nice, sun is out, get out there and walk a little bit. Park a little bit away from from your office, like I said, and so you walk in there. Just do things that you normally wouldn't do at the house, just to be active. Even though your sons or husbands might be cutting the grass, maybe walk out there and pick up some sticks off the lawn. Be active, and then most importantly, try to strength train. The benefits of added muscle, it outweighs just about anything in terms of your health. And so being active, eating relatively healthy and good amount of food, right? Uh, and then making sure that your strength training, that would do a lot for your health. And then, when it comes to people with weight loss, don't worry too much about specific diets. Don't worry too much about specific diets. Worry a lot about the amount of calories that you're eating in every food.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. How time flies so quickly. I believe that I have learned so much and and so have we all. I don't know, there's a young man speaking. Thank you all so much for joining us. So the summary of it is that one, we should be very active. Two, we shouldn't mind too much of our weight, but we should mind what we put in our body, the calorie count. And three, the strengthening. He couldn't have overemphasized that enough. So we have to strengthen our muscles. And he gave us the examples we have to do. The 6 squats, walking at least 30 minutes a day. Some of the things I wrote, the wall push-up, the sit and stand, whole things for bicep curls. And then for some of us who want to buy stuff in the home, remember the resistance band exercises, dumbbells, stationary bike, treadmill, ellipticals, on and on. So I believe that we have been immensely blessed, and we are looking forward to an after COVID session where we can all be in there in person and, actually help us to, be able to do some, because you're talking about the 6 squats, and I hope nobody's going to do something different from what you told us to do, but if we had that opportunity of in person. So in the summer, obviously we are going to follow up this discussion sometime in July. Hopefully everybody will be vaccinated, and we'll have our big gym upstairs in the chapel, and it's going to be an awesome time. So once again, I want to say thank you so much, Mr. David Dazi. This has been a lot of blessing. I have his information. I will post it on our platform so that if you have any further questions, you want to talk to him, feel free. I wish he had brought his card, to show on the screen. I don't know if you have a card, but you can send it to us, and then I will post it, and then everybody will have access to it. So for all our viewers and all those of us who zoomed in, thank you so much. I see our
Hello.
beautiful
Please,
sister.
before you close, I snuck in as Kobe, because I knew
Is that Pastor Pencil, my husband?
I don't know, but this is the anglicized name of my local name, which sounded a little bit feminine, so that you don't look like I was sneaking into something, But Ms. David, excellent presentation, and I'm on one of my 4-mile walk and jog almost every day, and I'm so sorry for all the panting and other things. I wanted to ask a quick question about if you are doing such long, maybe about 4 miles or something, what is the difference between walking and jogging? Because when I jog, I tend to get these splints, like hind splints, and sorry for my breathing heavily, but what will you recommend, more of walking or more of jogging, especially when you have these splints with when you jog? And then when it comes down to the resistance or the strength machines at home, people have been touting certain things like home gym and others. So some of those expensive ones, I know sometimes I try to calculate it based on, I've been a gym member for the past about 15 years, but sometimes when you look at the totality of the money involved, sometimes I wonder whether I could have spent it in a more kind of like effective. I don't know whether they are necessarily effective. And is there any recommendation to some of these home gyms and other things which are supposed to be comprehensive? Thank you very much. And don't mind the voice. I'm still Kobe, and the voice that is deep has nothing to do with my feminine nature. Thank you very much.
Okay. So the shin splints usually happen when your shoes that you're wearing for the activity is not the right shoe. Usually people get splints when the soles of the shoes are very they're harder than they're supposed to do. So or they're harder than they're supposed to be. Usually runners change shoes just about every 3 months or just about every 6 months. If you're walking more than you're running, I would suggest you change your shoes, maybe every 6 months. What you could also do is you could try to get different pairs of shoes where you rotate through them throughout the week. But shin splints usually happen because of the surface, right, that you're walking or running on, and the shoes that you're wearing. And so I would suggest that you investigate your shoes a little bit more, see if there's more wear and tear under the shoe and things like that. Okay, when it comes to jogging or walking, you really just have to ask yourself, what you're trying to get out of it. So I always tell the people that I've had consultations with, they're like, I want to run, but I don't know if it's a good thing. And I ask them, what are you training for the marathon? If you're training for the marathon or half marathon, or if you're training for any activity where you need to have like a higher level of cardiac output, then I would suggest that yes, maybe you should run. So those things are more specific. If you're just doing these things for just you being healthy, increasing your health, burning some calories, feeling good, walking is more than better, I should say. I can't find the right word, but walking will do a lot more good for you, and you don't have to run. What you can do though is you can increase the pace at which you walk at, and you can increase just to make things fun and make things a little bit challenging. For example, if you're walking on the treadmill, if you always walk at 3.2 speed, what you can do is you can increase the incline, right? So increase the incline so it feels like you're walking up on a hill. That makes it harder to walk. And if you start with an incline of 5, maybe eventually increase it to about 3, incline of about 7 or 6, or even maybe 10. And so you don't have to jog. It just really depends on what your goal is, right? And so if your goal is just to have a better health and just increase your cardiac output and just be like burn more calories and stuff like that, walking is perfect. If you're looking to run the marathon or do some kind of 5K or something like that, then maybe you should run more and that will help. But you do not have to run or you do not have to jog. You can just walk and just change some variables to make it hard, and that will be just right. That will be just perfect. When it comes to the home gym, and that's kind of what I touched on earlier. I see this too. You have a bunch of people who constantly are paying gym membership, and when they go to the gym, they don't know they're not familiar with what they should do, and so it really actually turns out to be a waste of time and a waste of money. What I suggest for everybody is just for a period of time, maybe invest in a trainer. Invest in somebody, a professional who should know what they're supposed to be doing, and to help you out a little bit. So that way, when you go to the gym, you have some kind of idea and knowledge of, okay, what I should be doing. Another thing too with the home gym, sometimes home gyms work a lot for some people. It doesn't for other people, because during COVID, I read a study that more people who did home gyms or more people who invested in home gyms were not using it anymore, because what was happening was they had to separate home from the gym. And some people, if they have to, they have the treadmill and everything in the basement, but then they also have the TV and the kitchen and everything upstairs. They can't separate that home feeling from when they're working out. And so it makes it hard for them. But if home gym works for you, you should invest in it. You still have to know what you're doing, even with the machines, right? Even if you have a home gym, you still have to know what you're doing. So that way, you're getting the most out of the equipment you bought. I think I answered all your questions, and I hope that helped too.
Okay, it looks like he's on mute. So yes, I believe that you've answered his question. And then I just remembered
Yes, you did. Thank you very, very, very much. And once again, excellent presentation. And thank you very much. And definitely, you know that the men are going to also stick out for you. But
Right.
exercise, perfect letter.
Now,
God
you
bless.
have follow-up comments or questions to that, to the answer I gave, or everything is all right?
Thank you.
Okay, I had a very simple question. Some people, when they walk or jog, they become very itchy. So as a result of that, they don't want to exercise, because when they decide to walk or jog, then all of a sudden they are feeling all itchy all over their body, and that becomes very challenging. So what causes it, and what will you suggest?
I wouldn't know exactly what's causing that because this is the first I've heard of that. Uh, okay, what I would suggest is maybe look at the type of fabric you're wearing. Uh, maybe what you're wearing is contributing to it, or maybe something you ate is contributing to it. I haven't really heard of that. I haven't come. I what I would is look at the fabric of the clothing you're wearing, and then maybe also think about the type of food you ate. Drink a lot more water. Maybe that will help. I'm not sure what.
Okay, so with that one, let me come in as a physician.
Okay.
So quite a number of people sometimes exercises induce physiological changes occur, and then people have exercise-induced pleuritis or itching, which is just as a result of so many bioactive and so many other things which sometimes are released as a result of the exercise. And then there are some people also who break out. There is a condition called urticaria, and urticaria can be induced by a lot of different substances, and one of them actually is exercising. So it is not something that is common to everybody, but some few people sometimes they break out into wheels, as a result of that. So I think that the main thing is that it's kind of like physiologic, and you have to know whether it affects you, and then being able to do things in a measured kind of manner, rather than so that anytime that you realize that it's coming on, you try and back out a little bit, and then you resume your exercises again. So these are physiologic.
So I have a follow-up question to that, Pat. Is that something you can get help from the physician for? Like, is there medication for it, or like a cream, any topical thing for it, or how does it get better?
I mean, like we always say, if you don't have to take a medicine, don't take it. Every medicine is a little poison, so quote and unquote, because they all have side effects. As simple as maybe acetaminophen or Tylenol, they all have side effects. So if you don't have to take a medicine, you shouldn't. So there are many medications there for pleuritis, antipruritic medications, but you don't need to take an antipruritic medication because of this. And then moreover, you don't necessarily have to do it as a preventive kind of measure, because I don't think there are any studies out there really showing that with these physiologic responses, you can have a preventive kind of medication that will offset you getting these physiologic changes. Then number two, creams mainly are there for most of the time dermatological kind of conditions. So that if you have either dermatitis, eczema, different kinds of. So the cream is not going to, and most of the time, these are steroid creams. And you have to be very, very careful even when you use steroid creams, because they cause a lot of adverse effects, including thinning of the skin, easy bruisability, and so many other things involved. So basically, it is not something that is very common, and then it's a physiological response. So whenever you realize that happens, you just have to be a little bit measured, in how you get things done. And like I said, very eloquent presentation. You just decide that you can try other things. Like I said, some people, electricals help them, some people bikes, some people, what is it called? Treadmills. So different things. So do something that would, at a certain point, be more amenable, you would be more amenable to, and something that will not cause a lot of problems. But whatever the situation is, this should not be an excuse, for anybody to say that I get this, so as a result of that, I'm going to be sedentary. You got to keep moving. And you couldn't have said it better, that in the future. And I've been telling my wife over and over again, strength training. So I'm so glad you emphasize on that, because at the end of the day, you build bones. It's only a matter of time. And in the future, you realize that you are more prone to osteoporosis, osteopenia, so many other things. So I'm so glad that you hit on all the salient things. And when it comes to dieting or losing weight, I told my wife the same thing, that exercise does not, lead to weight loss. Some people put it as 20%, some people 10%. At the end of the day, you have to cut down those calories. And that's what, by God's grace, I am doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor.
So I wanted to add on something. I'm sorry to cut in. Thank you so much, Pastor, for that. But I wanted to talk. Hi, David, and thank you so much for all the information you gave us today. I wanted to add on to the itching when you work out, because that has happened to me before. And I think it's more so when you haven't worked out in a while, or maybe your organs are just not used to the sweat that's coming out. But what has helped me is continuously working out. So typically, if I go for a jog and I haven't jogged in a very long time, I do feel like it's not a fabric thing. It is from your glands. You do get quite itchy, and it's not comfortable at all. But I find that if I go back out the next day and days after, I don't have that same issue. So like you said, just continuously working out and trying to build whatever that is to prevent you from itching is very important. So thank you again for coming on today.
No problem. And a quick to that is so our bodies like to stay what they are, homeostasis. Our body likes to be comfortable. That's why when you start lifting weights, you get sore. You're disrupting homeostasis a bit, and actually getting sore is a physiological response to adaptation, right? And so you put stress on the muscle, and then the muscle responds because it's micro tears. The muscle responds by adapting to that stress, and then you get sore. When usually people get sore, they like to not go work out. But that's actually not helping, because then you're kind of back to your baseline. You always want to, so from your baseline, you want to keep building up. And that's why if you have a trainer, you go to the gym and then they're like 15 more or 10 more, or we're doing 5 more reps or 5 more pounds today. It's because they're trying to change the stimulus a bit. So that way, every time you go, it's not the same. Obviously, there are reasons to kind of keep it the same. It kind of goes back to this thing that you're talking about with maybe as you keep doing it. I don't know if building immunity to it is what I want to say, but you kind of would, your body get used to it, right? And if it's really extremely, if it falls in the case where it's worse than you want to handle, maybe then you go see a physician, and the physician would take care of it, and in the way they're trained to.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me see, there's a question here. Physical count is the most ideal, especially for those of us with physical disability. Okay, yeah, so there's a question or a comment that says that there are some of us who have physical disability, and as a result of that, we cannot exercise. But what we have to do is that we have to be mindful of the calorie counts that we take in. So that's a great contribution out there. So once again, excellent presentation. Thank you so much for coming. And we are looking forward to more sessions like this. And I believe that we have all been immensely blessed. And so without much ado, I see very pretty Sister Dishona here with us. We'll end with a prayer, thanking God for all that we have learned today.
Thank you, Holy Father, for bringing us together at such a time like this. Thank you for the information that you continue to give us. The blessing that we received from today did not fall on deaf ears, Father, but we will make sure that we work these bodies out so that we continue to do the work that you have called us to do. We are grateful for you. We are grateful for this day. Let us continue to be blessings unto others. We will continue to call on your name for all the blessings that we need and all the information and knowledge and wisdom that we need to pass on to others. We praise your name, and as we leave this meet, we are not leaving your spirit, we are not leaving your energy, but we continue to push forward with all that you have given onto us. We thank you in the heavenly name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Once again, I want to say thank you to everyone who joined us, and a special thank you to Mr. David Dagsy. I know that it has been a blessed time, and we're looking forward to such more sessions in the future. And I'll let you know soon so you can mark your calendars. It's coming to us in July, June, July in person. Thank you. God bless you. And those of you who are off video, we want to see your face. We just want to fraternize a little bit before we go. So if you don't mind, if your hair is not good, just put on a wig and a wig or something will do. Okay. Good to see you, Study Shana. It's been a while.
Yes,
Evangelist
mommy.
Jenny, can we see you?
Hello, everyone.
I can't see the faces. What? Okay, let me change the view from my screen. Gallery view. Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing everybody. Oh, good to see you. Yes. Who else? Please show your faces. Oh, Sister Letitia, good to see you there. Sister Shirley, Beth Mensah. Oh, Auntie Stella, long time no see. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing, sis?
I'm doing too. Good. I'm doing well too. Hey, Sister
Amen.
Joyce. God bless. How are you? How are the babies?
And please tell your husbands that they should get training also. They should jump and start getting to do things. You know, all this fufu and eba and all those things must stop at a certain point. They have to cut it down, you know, get themselves ready. You can ask Pastor Cynthia, you know, I'm trying, if I'm not at work, trying to do about 4 to 5 miles every day, you know, and there's no excuse. There is no excuse. You know, I was at a prayer meeting. I have a meeting in a short while, the camp meeting. But like Sister Bertha said, you know, it makes you much better. And it's just because I had a meeting. Otherwise, I would have kept on going. They will feel better. So tell the men they should take the, I don't want to say where, out of the couch and get themselves training. Did I say something bad? Did I say something bad?
No, right thing.
Somebody's laughing at me. So I'm wondering
Hallelujah.
whether they think I'm saying something bad. And apart from that, I have my earphone and I'm listening to the word of God, and it's all the whole 9 yards, you know. So I didn't say anything bad. I just said that they should get there and then let them start losing some weight so that we can do this work of God for a very long time.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pastor.
Okay. Thank you all so much. God, Sister Sheila, we can't see your face. Augustina, Betty, Lena, Ayabia, Francisca. Who is HK?
Somebody.
Somebody, please. It's who? Who is HK?
The Karimus.
Oh, Evelyn. Let's see your face. Evelyn.
Evelyn.
Pretty Evelyn. God, you're